So remember when I said that for the Marvel site I'm working on with now it's after the whole everything's been going on, we've now got the Marvel 2014K whatever site. It's back under Liam and under control of the Mount Vernon kid, and I said I'd only do Spider-Man. Well, they've been kind of asking around for for more X-Men titles, since mostly people want to do Avengers stuff. And since wasn't able to do my X-Patrol stuff, and I've still dropped that, and I'm still going to do Spider-Man, I decided I'm going to take on a second title, and that's it. No more, because I feel like I don't want to do any more. I don't want to write any more titles after this. I got 3 on DC and 2 for Marvel, so that's 5. That's enough for me. And I know, yeah, I dropped everything else, but I swear I'm going to do all 5 of these in one time or another. God, I'm worse than Mark Millar sometimes when it turns to, turning out stuff. But anywho, yeah, so in terms of the X-Men title I'm going to write, it's going to be called The Mighty X-Men. The Mighty X-Men is going to be a superhero group that is a group of mutants and non-mutants that is going to be led by North Star to work as a superhero group, not as to face X-Men, X-Men related stuff, but more like they're going to deal with other supervillains like Doctor Doom and MODOK and other stuff. The whole team is pretty much like, hey, we're here to show that mutants can be superheroes too. We don't have to deal with X-Men stuff. We've got superpowers. We can, take on Doom and other things that can come our way. So that's pretty much what it is that this is more of a superhero team than a regular X-Men team. So let's kick things off with the leader. As you can see right here, yeah, North Star is going to be the leader of the team. North Star is pretty much going to be asked after his wedding by Wolverine and Storm to lead a new X-Men group that will put mutants in a good light. Basically, while they're handling X-Men stuff, Wolverine and Storm and Charles Xavier have pretty much come to the conclusion that, hey, we handle X-Men stuff, but we need to still show that we can be heroes as well. But we can't, we still have to deal with X-Men stuff. But there are other superhero teams like Avengers and Fantastic Four. So why don't we have a superhero team of X-Men to do that? So they approach North Star on his wedding day, because a lot of the other mutants are either on teams than the other ones, and they pick him because they've worked with him before, and he has led Alpha Flight at times. So they pretty much ask him, hey, do you want to lead this team? And at first, North Star is going to be very unsure about himself, because A, he just got married, and B, he doesn't know if he can lead a team of mutants and non-mutants as far as he can. But he's going to rise to the occasion. He's also going to be in a good light for the gay community. He is going to be a leader of the team. That wasn't in the initial plan for Wolverine and Storm. They just think he has the makings to be a good leader. But yeah, he is also going to be leading this team of X-Men, and even though he's gay, he's going to overcome it, and also he's also going to see himself as like a good light for the gay community as well. So that's how he's going to see himself. But at the same time, he's going to try to manage this team of other X-Men and some not so X-Men. But anyway, let's move on. Up next on the team is Jubilee. Jubilee is going to be on the team, and she's actually someone I fought for on her and another member of the team. I fought for to have on this team. Now, Jubilee is still a vampire. She still has her vampire powers, but she's the first kind of person that Wolverine pretty much says, can we have her on this team? And Wolverine puts in a good word for her, and North Star says, yeah, she can be part of this group. And the reason being is because he wants to show that she can still be a hero, because a lot of other people still think she's a little out of control with her vampire powers. Even though they still trust her, they're afraid that her bloodlust might get the better of her, and sometimes it might. And yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that Jubilee is still going to be fighting with her vampire nature, but at the same time, she's going to be a good powerhouse. She's going to be a good stealth member. She's got all the vampire powers, and we're going to have a little more supernatural stuff as well for the X-Men to encounter as well. Not to say the X-Men have never encountered supernatural stuff, but some of them might be coming after Jubilee, and she may be the center of it. So yeah, that's just a bit about for Jubilee is that she's going to be she's going to be controlling the animal inside of her, and but she's still going to be a valuable member of the team. Up next is Chamber. Now, Chamber was another person I fought for to have on this team, and Chamber is another, a lot of new mutants on this team, former new mutants on this team, and they're going to know each other very well, and they're going to play off each other very well, but Chamber's going to be like he's going to be very reserved, going to be very, stay in the background, and he's also going to be someone that is suggested to be part of the team by Storm. Actually, he was teaching at the school. School gets destroyed in that continuity, and he's like, well, what do I do now? And Storm suggests, we've got a new X-Men team forming, do you want to be part of that? And he's pretty much like, I don't want to be, out in the field anymore. But, duty calls. And most people don't know this, but Chamber is a very powerful mutant. He can launch a blast of pure psionic energy at people. He's also kind of a gifted telepath. That's how he communicates with most people. But Chamber is going to be a valuable member of the group. And again, this is another character. Him and Jubilee were the two characters until eventually, it was actually a combination of Chris and Sly Cooper 88 who said, yeah, you can use, Chris said, yeah, you could use Chamber and Jubilee. I was like, yay! Up next is Sunfire. Sunfire is going to be a major, hard hitter of the team, and also, when Sunfire is asked to be part of this team, he's not going to like he actually is going to have some friction with Northstar, on the grounds being that he doesn't like the idea of being led by a gay man. He does not like the idea of being led by... He's going to think, well, you don't deserve to be leader. He's not going to like the idea of... he doesn't like the idea of homosexuality, and he's not going to like the idea of being led by a gay man. And he's not going to be like, oh, I should be leader. He's going to be, saying, like, Warbird should be leader. Oh, I just spoiled the next team member. But he's going to be saying, like, someone else should lead, and you should just go. And Northstar's not going to take that shit very well. So there's obviously going to be some friction between him and Sunfire, because Sunfire, for those who know him from X-Men, he's kind of a douchebag sometimes. And he's going to be suggested by a lot of these X-Men don't come on their free will. It's a lot of these guys are mutants that are suggested by Wolverine and Storm, because these guys, they're trying to put a lot of these lesser-known mutants on these, a lot of these mutants who are kind of on their own sometimes, together under one group, so they can be, recognized more, and it allows the other mutants the other more better-known mutants to do what they have to. It allows, because there's so many mutants, they pretty much figure, we've got so many, we can have as many groups as they want. I mean, hell, there was an Avengers 50 state initiative. Why can't there be an X-Men initiative or whatever? That's going to be kind of the thinking when they put some of these teams together. And Sunfire is going to have a lot of issues with a lot of the other team members, and some of them aren't going to take that shit. But, however, Sunfire is going to, get through an arc and whatnot, so I don't want to spoil a lot for him. Up next is Warbird. Now, Warbird is not really a mutant per se, but she's going to be suggested by Wolverine to join the team on the grounds of, for those who don't know, there's going to be a team called Young Avengers West Coast, and Kid Gladiator, the person she was charged to guard by Gladiator, Kid Gladiator's father, and he's off now being a Young Avenger and all that, and she's like, well, what the hell do I do? Should I just go back to the Shi'ar Empire or whatnot? And what's going to happen is that Wolverine and Storm are like, we've got this team of X-Men, they could use your muscle, they could use your prowess. And yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be like, is that she's going to join the group and be like the team's muscle and skilled warrior. She's not going to be much of a talker, and her and Sunfire are going to be, like, Sunfire is going to, her and Sunfire are going to be close in some ways. I don't want to say how, but they are, not in a relationship way. Not yet, at least, but they are going to be, her and Sunfire are going to be make an interesting pair. And Warbird is okay with, being led by Northstar, but, however, she does kind of see where, Sunfire is going to be coming from, and she's going to be caught in the middle of when everything comes to a head between him and Sunfire and Northstar. But yeah, she's a very skilled warrior. She's got incredible strength. She's a great swordswoman. Warbird is like, I was like, man, I really want Warbird on this team, even though she's not really an X-Men. She's an alien. She's not a mutant. She's an alien, and that's going to be kind of the running joke. I should have said this earlier, but the running joke is that when this team goes out to save a group of people, they're going to be like, you guys, and they're like, we're the X-Men. You guys aren't X-Men. Where's Wolverine? Where's Storm? They're going to be like, well, where are those other ones, like Shadowcat and all of them? You know, where are all them? You guys aren't X-Men. They're going to make fun. They're going to get made fun of no matter how many times they save people's lives. So that's going to be kind of the running joke for that. Anyway, moving on. The next team member on the lineup is Wolvesbane. Yeah, Rain Sinclair is going to be part of the team. Now you're probably wondering, well, what about X Factor? Well, we don't really have an X Factor team yet. But I will write it as though she's pretty much asked from the X Factor team to be part of the group, to be kind of like the tracker and another strong arm of the group. And Rain is going to be pretty much like, okay, but and I'm going to have it that she wanted to. She had a little difficulties with Madrox and some of the other members of the team, but if they need her, she will go right back to X Factor. And I may have to replace her. This all depends on if we get a writer for X Factor. So, Wolvesbane will be like a member of the group who's like, alright, I'll be with you, in a sense. So, that's how she's going to, perceive it. But yeah, she's going to be the tracker and the wild animal of the group, pretty much the fill-in Wolverine. And she's also going to have a bit of some friction with Jubilee, but it's going to be totally on accident because she's not really a werewolf. Her wolf-like abilities come from her mutation. And Jubilee is going to be very hostile again to her, and she's going to be like, sorry, I forgot you're not a real werewolf. It's a vampire werewolf thing. Sorry, it's my vampire side kicking it. That's the other thing, is that this is going to have some very comedic moments. There is going to be some drama and some action, but there is going to be comedic moments to it. Like the kind of pseudo-rivalry between Wolvesbane and Jubilee is that Jubilee is going to get kind of hostile. They're going to get hostile with one another on the grounds of she's not really a werewolf, but Jubilee gets kind of angry at her sometimes, just on the grounds of being kind of, werewolf-like. But however, it's gonna be like her instantly apologizing, like sorry, that's my inner vampire talking. So, kind of stuff like that. But anyway, next. Up next is Karma. Now, Karma is going to be the team psychic of the group. Her mutant ability is that she can possess other people and take over their bodies. But also, she also is a good martial artist and actually is a really good tactician. But she's going to be a member of the group. If you guys have noticed, I've got Warbird, Karma, and Northstar. This team is also... The Mighty X-Men is kind of loosely based off of Marjorie Liu's Astonishing X-Men. It is loosely based off of that. I wasn't able to use all the characters, but hey, at least I got 3 out of 6. But yeah, Karma is going to be another great member of the team, and she's actually going to have... Now, her and Wolvesbane used to be part of the New Mutants, as well as Chamber. So those 3 are going to be very close to one another since they're old teammates together. And it's going to be very interesting to see how those 3 kind of play off each other, because it's going to be like, oh, it's like the good old days. Not really. But Karma is another mutant I really wanted on this group, so I'm glad Chris allowed me to use her. And yeah, I've got some other cool things planned for her, is that there are going to be some people out there who kind of want to use Karma. But anyway, let's move on to the final team member, and it's someone I bet none of you guys are expecting. Yeah, I'm not joking. The 8th member of this team is Howard the Duck. Now, let me explain why Howard the Duck is on an X-Men team. First off, he has been part of the X-Men before. He was part of Generation X, where he became friends with Leech and Artie. And he became close friends with those kids, and even became close friends with the other members of Generation X. And he's going to be He's going to be part of the team, and he is going to go he's going to go on some adventures with them. But for the most part, he's going to serve as the team's manager. That's right. He's the team's publicist. He is literally like the X-Men kind of are looking for... There was an event that happened in the Marvel 2012 universe, and what happened was a lot of the X-Men are scattered, a lot of the buildings are destroyed, and they kind of need money to rebuild it. Most people don't know this, but Howard is loaded with money from all the get-rich-quick schemes he does. And he has a lot of money saved up, And the team actually is going to live in Howard's penthouse since the X-Men are like, well, we don't have enough bases to have all these X-Men teams, and we kind of need some of the buildings that we do have repaired for the new students, for the new mutants to come in. And that's going to be Howard's thing, is that he's going to be like, well, you guys can crash at my penthouse. Yeah, the team's base is Howard's penthouse. Told you there was going to be some humor in here. And like I said, Howard is not going to be really with the team a lot of the times. He's not going to be out there fighting a lot. He is going to do sometimes that he's going to get caught in some of these situations, but Howard, for the most part, is going to be acting as the team's publicist and manager. He's going to be pretty much promoting them, and he's actually the one who gives them the name the Mighty X-Men. He's actually going to be the one like, oh man, we can't call you X-Men, not like those jack-offs already have the name, so what are we going to call you? I got it, the Mighty X-Men. We've got, uncanny? No. Astonishing? Fuck that. And he's like, I got it. The Mighty X-Men. It's got a ring to it. I like it. So this is going to be mostly that the X-Men are kind of trying to get in all the friends they can, and Howard is among that friend list. He was very, very low on the friend list. But, yeah, Howard is mostly going to be sitting on the sidelines and letting the rest of the X-Men do stuff, but he will be part of some of their adventures. So, yeah, Howard's an X-Man, technically. And again, that's kind of the running joke that some of these team members aren't mutants. And again, this is more of a superhero team than dealing with mutant stuff. This is going to be a team that is delving with villains like Doctor Doom and MODOK and Hydra and some other villains like Mephisto and Nightmare. So that's the stuff they're going to be dealing with. And again, Howard is going to be the guy who is pretty much like, oh yeah, you guys can crash my penthouse, I'll get you guys. He's actually going to have them almost like sometimes he'll have a bill. No, okay, that was no pun intended. For some of the superhero stuff they do is like, here, sign here and pay here. This is the bill, and I'm actually going to have that joke where it's like, here's the bill for our services. Also, if you make a bill joke, I will kick you in the balls. So that's good. Howard is going to do most of the jokes, and also I just like, here's the fun thing about when I wanted Howard on the team. I was literally like, I want some humor in this superhero team. I want Howard. I'm going to put Howard in here. And Chris, when I pitched Chris this idea, he laughed so hard, and he said, "You got him. Howard is now an X." So yeah, Howard the Duck is now an X-Man. Kind of. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this lineup. Again, this and Spider-Man, which, by the way, I'm going to have the title called I'm going to actually have it called Spectacular Spider-Man, because I don't know. I just thought spectacular was just spectacular. I don't know. Yeah. So the Spectacular Spider-Man is going to be the title of my Spider-Man run, of my Spider-Man fanfiction series. And yeah, this and the Mighty X-Men and the Mighty X-Men are the only two things I am working on for that site, and not to mention Birds of Prey, Deathstroke, and Justice League International for the DC 2014 site. Those are the only three I'm working on there, and this is the only three I'm working on here. But once again, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys tell me what you think of the lineup. Do you like it? What are your thoughts on it? What do you think of the team members I put on here? Stuff like that. Alright, I'm out.